When you guys are seeing this, it is the weekend. It is literally the Sunday after Rogue has joined Marvel Rivals, and I wanted to do a little run through of how I do the makeup, talk about some comic facts, because I just love Rogue. So we're gonna do a little bit of that. I do my makeup a little bit differently because I do it based on the Uncanny X-Men 2024 run, because I fell in love with how that artist draws Rogue and immediately bought my wig and stuff right after it came out. So I've been doing my makeup based on it, but not entirely it, because I do the smoky eye, I do the freckles, I do the like beauty marks, but I still take creative liberty and do like a green and yellow look. So this is how I do this, and let's get started. As of recording this, Rogue is in Marvel Rivals now. It's actually Marvel Rivals Rogue weekend. She came out on Friday, but Thursday for people with pre-access. And I've been really excited about it because I do cosplay Rogue, and she is my best X-Men girl, so I'm excited to have her in the game, and I thought I would walk you through how I do my Rogue makeup because I take a little bit of liberty with it. Maybe it'll inspire you to make your own version of Rogue if you want to cosplay her in the future, because she is so much fun, and I highly recommend it. I have done my base already because it's really boring. It's not fun to just sit down and watch it over and over again. So I've done foundation, concealer, contour, but I have not done my blush because I do my blush differently for her, and I thought I would walk you through that first. Should have done my eyebrows because that's also boring. I just do black eyebrows for her. You could do red, but I usually just do black. But lately I've been doing brown because I did pluck my eyebrows for a different cosplay early in summer, and they are still growing back. So it's just taking a little bit, so I'm just gonna do black so I can fully draw out my eyebrow without noticeably missing hair. I am a cosplayer, but I do enjoy reading comics, so I've read a lot of Marvel comics in my time. That's just my comic of choice. But the fun thing about Rogue, if you didn't know, is that she has not always been a hero. She was actually introduced as a villain. Her and Gambit were actually both introduced as villains. So their whole journey with the X-Men has been a lot of trying to figure out their self-worth and trying to prove that they are actually capable of being good. So Rogue, while her origin isn't actually with, her being a hero at first, she has had her backstory with her parents who were hippies who were trying to, her mom was trying to do some ritual, it didn't work out, so she ended up disappearing, and her dad kind of just left after that because he was so heartbroken that her mom disappeared. Rogue ends up staying with her aunt for a little bit, and then she ends up running away because her aunt's really strict. When she was, a runaway kid and hanging out, the people around her ended up giving her the name Rogue because she was the rogue child, and that is where she found Mystique. Or Mystique found her, I should say. This is just normal primer. It's just by Urban Decay. I'm gonna put it on my eyes so it has time to dry while I move on to blush. She ran into Mystique, and not trusting people easily, she did not like Mystique at first, but Mystique came around and they both realized they were outcasts because Rogue is the outcasts of outcasts. And this is even before her powers manifested, so she was just an outcast already. And then when her powers manifest, when she is younger, when she is on a date with a boy, she ends up trying to kiss him and puts him into a coma. So that is something that they knew was going to happen because Mystique's partner Destiny, her future wife, but not wife at the moment, ends up having a vision. That's her power. She has visions of Rogue getting this quirk. Wow, been hovering. This power. So she gets her power, and then she joins the Brotherhood with Mystique, which is Mystique's gang of villains, and she ends up going up against the X-Men. She ends up going up against Captain Marvel, who she actually takes the powers of and puts her into a coma for a little bit, but she takes both the powers and the memories from Miss Marvel. In her early time of being a character in Marvel Comics, she has a lot of issues with dealing with this other soul inside of her, being Captain Marvel, but it also gave her the power to fly and her invisibility and all of this. So there's not really a reason why she sometimes just permanently keeps powers, because she has Wonder Man stuff too. As far as makeup goes though, I'm gonna put blush. I put it pretty much here and on the middle of my nose because I put freckles, and then on this side. So welcome to Girly Pop Comic Yellin'. Because I do Rogue with freckles, that's where I put a lot of my blush, and then I bring it over to the fronts of my cheeks. This is how I do my blush for Sylvie, because I feel like it gives nice shape to my face, especially because I don't usually like wearing blush because I do have sunken eye bags. It's something I've had since I was a kid. It's something I'm used to, but it doesn't always work well with blush. I feel like it accentuates it, so I don't always like wearing blush. So I base my Rogue makeup off of the Uncanny X-Men run that started in 2024, and I think that one has a really cute art style, but I really like how they did her makeup and stuff in it. So that when that started coming out, that's when I finally bit the bullet and bought my Rogue wig and started cosplaying her, because I finally found one that I was like, no, I really, really like how this person draws the makeup. So it's inspired by that. I do the dark lip, I do the beauty marks, and I do freckles, and I do a dark smoky eye to some degree when I wear her, but I usually put yellow and green in it as well because I think it looks really cute with her makeup to call to her suit. So that is what we're doing today. So what I'm going to start with as far as eyeshadow goes is I'm going to put yellow here and like in the inside of my eyes, and then I might put some on the outside. It just depends. I usually don't, but depends on how we feel today. So that is where I'm going to start, because if you put colors together, they sometimes get muddy. So I usually start with the yellow because it would get less muddy blending something into it than trying to blend yellow around something. So that's the method to the madness here. That has red on it. It's probably from when I did the Christmas look for her a couple days ago. As far as yellows go, I do have a couple that I like. I do like this MCR Hip Dot one. It was a little novelty set, but it does have a really neon yellow, so I like using it under other yellows. I will probably go in this ColourPop Twilight palette, has a mustard yellow that I really like. Depending on what color your suit is, you might want to do more neon or not. I just do the muted ones because I think it does that smoky eye really well that she has in this comic run. Because I have hooded eyes, I do my makeup a little bit differently. I usually bring any accent colors, so like if I do 𝙻𝙸𝙺𝚂, sometimes I do her kind of MCU look with the makeup because it is inspired by, you know, it is 𝙻𝙸𝙺, it's just a different universe. So I put my like shade in like the hollow of my eye, but I do it really thick because I have hooded eyes, so when I open my eye, you can't see it. So we're going to put it like right here and then into this inner corner. But I'm going to drag that yellow out further than I do this inner corner. Wahoo! And this is when we remember that, like, cosplay is not all about being entirely accurate. Sometimes we just get to have fun. And this is where I like having fun, is doing fun makeup for things. This is also adjacent to a look that I do for Loki. I think my actual icon has this eyeshadow kind of look in it. Like, it was in Marble Snap for Loki. It was a very fun little one-piece art. I'm gonna go in with the senior year color from this palette, which is just a mustardy yellow that I really like. And I usually go over it with this little glimmery, like shimmery yellow, because it's not heavy in color, but it's heavy in glitter. So it's really nice to kind of make a fun little color. It's a snow day here, so if you hear anything crazy loud in the background that I missed out, it's because they have been plowing the street because it snowed a lot last night, which is exciting because I like snow. So now we look a little crazy, but that's okay. Because it's a trust the process kind of makeup, and I've done it so many times that it's just gonna be that way, but trust the process. I do wish I had a more shimmery, like in all of my collection and all of my Loki cosplaying and all of this, I don't have a green shimmer, which is crazy. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do next is actually go in, it's the palette that I've been using as a mirror right now, but it has like these two little green shades that I really like, well, three, and I kind of put them under what I want for like the main part of my look. But it makes it a little bit more green than it would usually be if I didn't go with it under, because I don't have just like a nice dark green shimmery shade, so I have a dark-ish green in this palette that I like using for her, but it goes more on the like black side because it is a green shimmer with a black in it. I'm gonna go in with this one actually, which is called Mildew by Urban Decay. I really like it. It's a kind of dark green-y shade, but let's see if you want a little bit of green under it or not. Cool, so we're gonna go in with this shade. And again, it's a trust the process look. It is a smoky eye, so hear me out. But I'm sure if you are still interested in the rambling of comic lore, you want to know how Gambit and Rogue met. They are the couple of all time, so Gambit and Rogue met in 𝙻𝙸𝙽𝚀, actually. It was right before 𝙻𝙸𝙽𝚀. It was, Mirror Island, I think? I'm going off the top of my head, I don't have a script, so I think it's called Mirror Island. But they met there after getting kidnapped, essentially. Rogue actually doesn't remember this, but Gambit does. And Rogue doesn't always believe him because they go back and forth on if he is lying about his past and all of that good stuff, that she doesn't always trust our little Cajun man. So the thing is, she is brainwashed, so she doesn't remember this, and she does make out with him because a lot of the time in her early comics, and sometimes even now, the way that she steals somebody's power is by kissing them. She's not stealing his power, they do actually just end up making out. They end up on Savage Land, they end up escaping together, her mother Destiny dies, it's a whole thing. And then they both join the X-Men. This is very quick and dirty. They both join the X-Men, Rogue before Gambit. Gambit joins because Storm puts in a good word for him because she was turned into a child and he ended up helping her after getting kicked out of the Thieves Guild because he killed his wife's brother in a duel, which he got kicked out of the Thieves Guild for winning the duel, even though it was a duel to the death, and he killed the brother. So that's unfair. But I digress. So they're both a part of the X-Men. They both end up with a super flirty relationship, but Rogue does not want to actually date him because of her thing that she can't touch people or she will kill them. But Gambit doesn't really care. He likes spending time with her. He likes, trying to make a move on her. He's really he doesn't care if they can't touch. He really likes her. And then Belladonna shows up again, and Rogue finds out he was married before. It's a whole thing. They have to go back to the Thieves Guild. She ends up getting killed, as far as they know, and it's very sad on Gambit's part. Back to makeup. I know this sounds crazy. I'm going to put black probably right here. We just put it on the end because I have a different secret weapon for the inside of my eye. Again, all this comic lore is just off the top of my head, so if I'm wrong, I'm going to use my secret weapon for Rogue makeup. They're little color shifting eyeshadows. It's from their New Moon palette. They were sweet enough to send me it. And it is a color shifting green to gold, which is really pretty. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it's color shifting green to gold. And I put it in the exact middle of my eyes because I think it makes it really pretty and it makes it a little bit less dark. The thing is it doesn't blend out, so you kind of have to map out where you want it because you can't blend it out like a normal eyeshadow because it is a cream. So I go in and put it right in the center of my eyelid, like so. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. And then it just adds, and then I usually put it right in the middle just for a little highlight because it's fun. And then I'm going to smoke it out with I'm gonna use this gray brown because I don't want to go black yet, but if I need to. This poor palette has been through the ringer, but these two is usually what I use to start out a smoky eye, and then I put black in if I need it to be darker. So I'm gonna do that. But if you have seen any of the Marvel Rivals lore, you know that Rogue and Gambit are married. It's all about their wedding, which they are married in the comics. They got married a couple years back after being on again and off again and again. They had a mission that they were having to pretend to be a couple still because Kitty Pryde put them on it. It's the fake dating trope, which is the way to my heart. I love that stuff. So they get married. Kitty and Colossus are going to have a wedding, and Kitty gets cold feet and calls off the wedding while everybody is still at the wedding. But before that, Gambit and Storm had talked about it, and he was kind of like, I would like to marry Rogue someday. And she's like, okay, why don't you? So they have a whole conversation about it, and then when the wedding falls through, Gambit essentially steals the wedding and proposes to Rogue on the spot, and they get married because the wedding is already planned. The guests are all there. It's all their friends. So they get married there, and they have been married since. They've had their issues because they need to have that drama, but they are doing pretty good. I think this is as dark as I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna work on blending it out. Maybe I'll put a little bit of black, just so the eyeliner blends in. So it's a silly look. It's darker than some people go with Rogue. I like that she has a smoky eye in this run, 2024 run. I think it's fun. I'm going to blend it out with this, I think. Usually I don't care too much about blending it too much because by the time I get into the con, it has kind of blended itself. But since this is for filming, I'm going to do it that way. And now, fun things is that recently, as in this 2024 run, Rogue and Gambit are running their own little mutant school of sorts, and they have a couple kids they're taking care of to teach them how to use their powers, and it's really cute. And the kids kind of become their own kids, not officially, but they've more or less adopted these children, and it's really cute. And that is my eye look. I'm going to put highlighter on first. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna use the Twilight palette because that is the one that has the yellows that I'm thinking about. I like using this as highlight, but I'm gonna use this guy, which is their like shimmery shade. For me, it does work like a highlight. For some people, it might have color in it. I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna put it here. I do usually sometimes do eye bags for her because she is a tired, angry lady. So sometimes I do that, but today I'm not going to. All right. I'm gonna do my eyeliner because I get nervous doing eyeliner on camera, but I will be right back. My favorite part of this look is she has a couple of beauty marks and I put freckles underneath, but what I kind of picked up from a TikTok video a while ago, what I enjoy is using beauty marks to hide some of like the bad acne days because currently I'm having a couple of those. So I have two little freckle pens. They're the liquid ones that only have like one point instead of like the ones that have like a couple. But the fun thing about freckles, and I talked about this when I did Jinx, is that they kind of cluster in the middle of your nose and then fan outward. So the most freckles you have, sometimes, depending on the person, will be like here. So that's where I focus mine, because that's where I think is cute. I also usually put a couple, and then I put one here every time. I don't know why I started doing it, but that's where I put freckles when I put freckles on. But we're just gonna, no rhyme or reason, put a bunch in, and then pat them out. I'm being a little quiet because there's a bunch of people in the hallway and I don't want to have to talk over them and then cut them out later. So yeah, I do things like this for Anna, I do them for Rapunzel. Sometimes I let them sit a little bit longer and dry so they're darker, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the character. And then I'll usually cover it with blush if it's a little rough. So I'm gonna go in with the darker one, and this one I don't pat down unless it's like really dark, but I'm going to put some, she has like 3 or 4 on one side and a couple on the other. I'm going to cover this little problem spot I have going on with one of them and then kind of just put them other places. This is how the artist that did the Uncanny 2024 run ended up drawing her, and I just really like it. So I usually have a trouble spot down here, but I don't right now, but I'm still going to put one in there. I'm going to curl my lashes. I need to do that. I'm still not great at curling my lashes, but it was kind of the thing because I was a cheerleader when I was younger. I know that's crazy, but it was one of the things we had to do for the makeup for cheerleading, and I did not like it, and I still don't like it. So I get a little nervous every time I do it. But I try to do it before I put falsies on so I don't have to fight with the curve of my lashes and they kind of blend better without getting mascara on my falsies so they can last a little bit longer. So I'm just using the Ye Old Faithful, which is Buxom's just mascara. I don't know if it has a name. It probably does. I don't know what it is. Oh, the cars outside are slushy sounding. All right, gonna let that dry. Gonna pop on falsies and then I will grab the suit and the wig and all of that and we'll do a final look. And that, my friends, is my makeup for Anna Marie or Rogue. I hope you enjoyed. And if you like this and want to see more like this, be sure to comment and like and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you guys like it and we'll show it to more people who might also like it. Alrighty, Happy New Year if this comes out before the new year, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.